Yo, yo,
It's
yo!
drop day!
Drop day! Woohoo!
Yes, so excited. It's a special one for sure.
I'm so excited to get some more HQ into my collection. Feels like it's been forever, but
I
it
know.
hasn't been that long.
Well, I mean, the Genesis drop, the very first Genesis drop was quite a long time ago, which I think that's when most of their content was released.
Yeah, and I remember like that was for me, especially coming into Record Shop as a user and not being the most fluent with EDM. Really cool to like meet all of the different artists, all of the different, and just see all the content that they had.
Hmm.
So it's really nice now to come back and have them again, a focus drop just on them. I'm
Yes.
really excited. I'm buying some packs right now on the side.
Yeah, I need to get on myself, but it's moving pretty slow. There must be too many people on there right now.
I know it's really slow.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, while we're waiting for my purchase to go through, why don't we drum roll and bring
Bring in our
on
guests.
our guests? So we've got two very special people here today. Cannot wait. Let's bring them on right now. Got DJ Ganesh and Amanda
Oh,
V. Let's get you guys here. Hey, welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
I'll put you up.
Yeah,
thanks for
you're up at
having
the
us.
top.
Yeah. Okay. Multitasking because I'm buying and having you here.
It's a lot to do at once.
I know, but I'm so excited. How's
Hmm.
everybody doing today?
Fantastic. How you doing?
Really good.
Excellent.
Did you guys
Wonderful.
get your packs too?
I got a
I
couple.
did.
Nice. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, today, we are going to, hey everybody, welcome, welcome. If you're here, come say hi in the chat so we know you're here. We will definitely take some questions from the chat for Amanda and Ganesh. Um, so today we are going to do an interview. We've got a great set coming up in a little bit too. But first, we thought we would come and actually open up some of the packs that we're buying. I'm going to open up one of mine. Let me just see
Yeah,
how the
we've got
progress is.
to.
How the progress is coming along. It is a little slow. That must it's reminiscent of like early days when,
Not even close. So you couldn't like they'd be all gone already.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
hmm
You
All
couldn't
right.
even you couldn't even buy one without errors, and then they would be gone.
Yeah.
What I wanted to buy one. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't blink. All right, let me get my screen shared here. There we go.
Well,
Phase one.
before we open, I'm
Oh,
kind of curious with Amanda and Gary. Like, can you tell us a little bit about like your experience on like Record Shop and like making a whole pack? It sounds like a pretty big undertaking.
It definitely was.
Like a whole
Especially
pack for HQ
since,
content. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's bananas.
yeah, we weren't building it with intent for it to become its own pack drop. We're just trying to recruit as many artists and ideas as possible. So every time we would get a demo, we give it a listen with our A&R team and then determine if this is going to be part of, which label, which sound, record shop, or our Dig Deeper EP, which is a very unique and diverse group of 5 collective tracks. And so most of our signings were going to record shops. So I was sending Obi and the team all kinds of demos. And I guess we had collected enough to be considered our own dedicated amount of content to be able to form its own drop. So we were really, really excited about that. But I definitely think we've pulled together a lot of really great stuff, especially for hard trance and techno, and enough artists that were willing to do stems for the remix packs and also being willing to film themselves so they can do some walkthroughs. When you guys open your packs, hopefully you'll get one of those and just see the diversity and talent that these artists have. It's definitely going to be a very, very cool acquirement for anyone who gets any of these tracks or walkthroughs that the artists have offered up.
We're so excited to see it. Can't wait. Yeah, because the Genesis pack, I mean, y'all had quite a bit of content too there. So I mean,
We did a lot of
yeah,
virtual merch too.
yeah, some really cool virtual merch, and no, it's just really cool to see more. And like, I've been really, really digging the tracks that y'all have been putting out. Like, I'm a huge trance fan myself. I haven't explored as much the like harder, like proper hard trance, but I love the balance y'all strike with kind of your own little genre you're pioneering here with the HQ cards. I love it.
definitely.
Sorry, Gary. I feel like I cut you off. Were you saying something?
No, it's a that's kind of ironically like that's kind of where the entire label came from. It conceptually was like a that sort of like boundary between like like hard, really aggressive trance and like more just traditional, and when we kind of turned harder trance, which is like kind of right in the middle there, and that's I'm glad that that. It's definitely like a gateway for for either direction. So it gives us a lot more flexibility in what we want to do with the label.
That's cool. Yeah, you definitely strike a nice balance. I love it.
Awesome. Well, shall we give a pack and open?
Let's do it. We got to see it.
Super pumped. All right. So, first off, phase 1. That makes me have some questions.
Yeah, interesting. Can we maybe reveal or explain a little bit of the thought behind the title of this pack?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of hint there's going to be a phase 2, phase 3.
Maybe it's more obvious than I like to think.
It was
We
a
try to
working
come up
title
with
it was kind of just a working title that seemed to be sort of self-explanatory.
Yeah. No, I like it. It sounds like I don't even know. Like it has like it just fits your brand so well. I don't really know how to,
right. That works fine.
I don't really know how to quantify that. Maybe just because it's phase or something, but yeah, I just feel like it fits.
Yeah, it's good. All right, let's give it the open. Ooh.
Oh, we got Laura May in the chat. HQ
nice.
Roarings
Obi's there.
official. Obi
Black
Fernandez. Yes, Black XS. The whole fam is here.
Ooh,
Boom.
Paige is chugging. Here we go.
3 collectibles. Let's see it. What you got?
Love it. Ooh.
Yes.
I want an actual one.
I wouldn't mind an actual. We were just talking earlier because I'm in Canada and we're still under weird lockdown phases. This would be a nice accessory for me.
So
Obi's
Obi wants to
asking
know.
what the
Yeah.
When I originally designed this one, I just wanted something that was very eclectic, something that had a really cool design on it. I've done a lot of festivals like Electric Forest and stuff where the bandana is a little more breathable, especially festivals like Burning Man where there's a lot of dust.
Oh,
But it's
gosh.
also cool to have a really, really unique design. So this one was mostly a blend between some of the color schemes we go for HQN, but also the very unique hexagon for HQ. So
Love
we're
it.
trying to like stylize it up a bit and make it a little more 2.0, but I definitely think this could be converted into some really good pieces like tapestry or a bandana or a poster even.
No, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a cool design. I like it.
The background art is the flip side art's super nice.
Yeah, and this is a unique design
Ooh.
that's just for Record Shop. It's not in our actual merch store, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have some of this printed and be a cool giveaway at our events if people show
That's
up.
a
at the
phone
store.
case right there. That's a great.
Oh,
Yeah.
it really
Yeah,
is.
that would be a good phone case.
This is my first time seeing the back art. I'm usually a bit more on top of like exactly what all collectibles are in it, but didn't get a chance to catch this one. So I love it. I like the way the like cross pattern is all staggered. That's a really cool
Yeah.
idea.
And that's our 1.0 artwork. When I first started doing the drafts in 2019, this was like a draft, but we ended up giving it to the Record Shop team as part of the phase 1. Kind of has a little bit of
Cool.
backstory behind it from the beginning.
Oh, that makes
Ah.
sense. I love that story.
I like that tidbit. I feel like it's gonna be really, now that we know, it's gonna be so cool to watch it evolve.
Yeah, like that was one of the things we were talking about when I sort of first brought the sort of NFT sort of concept to Amanda and everything, but the whole when Obi brought it to me was that we could take if Jack Dorsey, yeah, he can take just a picture of his first tweet and turn that into an NFT. Like I felt like all the concept art that we had, that Amanda was just mock-ups. Like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Just the inception art of just coming up with the brand in the first place would have been really fantastic content. And here it is.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, and like it's it's hard to make like I feel like there's not a lot of outlets for that kind of storytelling outside of like putting together a collectible or something that can be fun and meaningful for your collectors and fans out there. So I think
Absolutely.
it's really cool to kind of have that medium where you can like tell a story with the multiple faces inside the card or through multiple cards. Like it's been really fun to see what creators like yourselves can come up with, because it's kind of like just whatever you can imagine we can put together into packs and campaigns. I love it.
Yeah, of course, there's a story behind it. And you'd have to, be tuned in to one of these interviews or hit us up in the Discord, like what Obi just did, tell us the story behind the banana to find out, what some of the thought process was behind each piece.
Hell yeah.
Love it. All right, next one.
All right.
Ah.
Heck yeah. That track.
There he is.
Yep.
That track is
Nice.
fantastic.
Can't wait. Now, do we get to hear this one later today as part of the set that you sent me?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh, awesome.
Sweet.
Love that.
Amazing. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about, is it Black XS?
Yeah. He's the
I
Argentinian
know
cruiser.
that
He just brought up that whole. There's a group down in Argentina called Trans Room that he's been closely associated with. He took it some time off, did some house and some tech house stuff, and now he's back into the trans scene again. But he's just a spectacular producer. I've been a fan for a couple of years now.
He's definitely extremely talented. He also does his own mastering.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Goes to
awesome.
Which is
Studio,
really
he's
cool. Yeah.
like, studio stuff. He's really good.
Would you say he has like would you be able to describe maybe what his like signature is, or like his signature sound is? Is he like, in like a certain niche, or?
It's interesting. Like I think the Argentinian guys do have a sound. It's certainly more than the tech trends arena of things, but they have a lot of really unique vocal usage,
Cool.
vocal samples and stuff that has a really sort of syncopated vocal style, and I definitely noticed I can tell when I hear like an Argentinian artist these days. Like it's interesting to see sounds develop from regions.
That's cool. I'll have to dig in to see if I can find a few and maybe pull the similarities. I love that though, when you can kind of see that people kind of either started producing together or work together a lot. You kind of can feel the collaboration when
absolutely.
you put their work side by side. Yeah.
Fabulous. Sweet. I can't wait to hear this one.
That's one of my favorites. It's really unique. He posted a little promo video of where he grabbed some of those sound effects, and I was like, "You've got to share that."
Is
I
that
think
what
Obi put
this
it in the
video is?
Discord.
No, I think that's a little
that's
bit of
his
a
intro.
video. Just him talking about just what went into the track.
Cool. Great.
Last one. Drum roll.
Oh,
Oh,
awesome.
Laura May is this is fantastic. This is a brilliant techno track from her from Laura May's Techno Alias.
Oh, I was wondering what May I was. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
realize
her
that was Laura
Techno
May. Oh, that's awesome.
Too cool.
Yeah. Previously on Record Shop, she just had the Mama Makes Beats NFT, which
Yeah.
was so
It's one of
creative.
my favorite. It's one of my favorites,
She's
honestly.
fantastic.
That one.
So I was like,
Kitty-
we got to
kitty
get some
style.
tunes from you. Yeah. I told her she needs to make a second one for the platform.
Yeah,
This-
you
this-
It
did.
has
this-
such a
Yay.
little following.
This
I was
is a
really-
huge card right here because this has stems for the.
Oh my gosh.
So producers can actually use those to make their own tracks or remixes.
Wow.
This
Oh
is
yeah.
a lot
yeah.
of content.
This is one of our Release Plus cards. I didn't realize at first. That's
That's a
awesome.
lot of content. There's a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, the walkthrough has so much of her personality in it.
Oh, cool. Wow, it's like almost 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a remarkably talented artist. We're thrilled to have her with us. We like to consider her as an in-house sort of HQ artist, but she's spectacular.
Awesome. Wow.
And I see
Great
she's here in the
work, Laura.
chat. Hey,
Yeah.
Laura.
Love it.
Oh, I'm so happy to have this one.
When she submitted that to me, I actually learned a lot watching it.
Nice. Picking up
Yeah.
new tips.
Definitely.
All right, Laura, I'm gonna put the official request out there since you're tuned in, but we're waiting for Kitty Beats Part 2. So Mama makes beats.
Mama continues to make beats.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that was really fun. I'm really excited to hear. Was Laura May's, is her song in this set as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
under
Okay,
May
we
I.
get to hear it all.
Mhm.
Excellent.
And a May I artist card as well.
Love it.
Do you want to do another one?
Yeah. Do you
Another
want
packet?
to? Do you want me to open one of mine, or do you want to?
I've got one.
Did
I
you
don't
buy
know if
one?
Amanda or Gary, do y'all want to open one if you got
Sure.
one?
Let me see here. Sorry,
Because then you can
Yeah,
kind of
it's
just you can talk through it at the same time. That might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
What do I
The
got?
screen share.
I'll definitely be opening mine in the Discord later.
Nice.
Try not to get distracted by it right now.
I got. Let's see. What have we got here? I've not done this before, so we're gonna have to find out here.
There's a screen share button. Should
Yeah.
be down at the bottom.
Screen share. There you go. Thanks. Are you seeing that now?
Not yet.
Okay, there it is. Okay. Let's see.
Put me on the spot.
That's all right.
I don't see it yet, though.
Is it not there? What do you say? It's loading right now.
Yeah, I don't have your screen.
Oh, here we go.
Third time's a charm. I'm used to this with Gary.
There we are.
There we go. Got it.
Very cool.
Ooh, serial 163, a good low one.
Then what we got? There we are.
All right.
Artist card.
Nice. Is that when I found out? Was that the same? Now I gotta go back and look.
Yes.
Is that the same track? Awesome.
A radio edit.
Oh yeah, because the one that is on my card is over 6 minutes, and this one's only 3.
And she's been at this since 2001, so she's a veteran for sure. A little bit of bio information about her.
Her intro video is my favorite.
The video.
Hi everyone, I'm May, and this is a little video to introduce myself.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm
Okay, there you go.
Not cringe
She
at
says
all.
cringe.
I love it.
Okay.
The dealer.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, that's
I was looking at
cool.
that one in the Discord earlier.
Cool.
What's the next face look like? Oh, there it goes.
A bottle of crackles.
Wow.
The art is so cool.
Is Crackles new? I don't recognize that art. Yeah, that's a new artist, I think.
Well, Crackles was on. They were in our last drop or the drop before that.
Okay.
Because we have Crackles Bartender.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. I don't recognize the card back.
We've got a really fantastic artist coming on board as well. Some really, really neat stuff. So here we go here.
Awesome.
There we go. What is
Awesome.
This is a
Nice.
this is another
Impulse
Black
Wave.
Excess. No, this is an Impulse Wave. Impulse Waves is another South American artist, well, Mexico. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I think I've his track was it The Harbor, I think? Or Harbor?
Yeah, he
I
did a
love
This
that
is
one.
also on
That's
my.
great.
This is also on the mix I'm doing later on today, so you'll hear that as well.
Nice.
Where back is. Let's see.
Fun fact, We're is my all-time favorite HQ signing, which is part of this backdrop.
Wow.
Yeah. By
This is
far,
from here,
definitely.
right? Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I know which one to go look for.
Some cool stuff. I love that art. That needs to be a phone screen or a phone case for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It'd be I mean, I'm probably getting ahead of requests here, but like if it could have that texture where you know how it's like kind of bumped a little bit,
Ooh.
that'd be so sick. But even just the
Alright.
visual looks good. Nice. Awesome. Super exciting.
Yeah, thanks for like all of your work and all these collectibles that I know, well, I don't know how much effort it takes, but like just seeing how how well put together they are, how many card faces there are, like every little thing, it takes so much work to put it together and make it look like HQ. But why don't we hop into the interview portion? So if anybody does have any questions, please pop them in the chat. But we'll get it kicked off. Amanda, can you just start by telling us about yourself, your story, like how did you come to be one of the co-founders of HQ?
It's crazy because I had designed Gary's original artist logo, and our professional relationship has evolved to becoming his manager and doing the artwork for his radio show. And then he brought me on board HQ in 2019 to do some of the concept art. And I eventually had a bigger role in HQ over time to do the administrative side of things, handling the royalties, handling A&R, and doing all of the artwork. We started doing videos for each release as of a year ago. And now HQ has become one of the leading record labels, not only in trance, but electronic music for multimedia content. So really good dynamic videos and marketing. And we try to do things that are a little bit out of the box, which is one of the reasons we got involved with Record Shop, is just to push the boundaries and figure out, how can we get our brand more exposed out there in all these different ways. And obviously, since the pandemic happened, we had stepped it up a lot more. While most people were retracting, we were trying to figure out a way to just get our name out there a little bit more. And with all these artists that were at home producing nonstop, there was a lot of great opportunity there for them to go ahead and increase their skill sets and produce things that were really dynamic and fun. So we nabbed a lot of those for the main label. We started HQ Noir, which is our techno sub-label, and then we got heavily involved with Record Shop. So it's been pedal to the metal for a year now. I'm pretty exhausted, but I mean, days like today, it makes everything worth it, despite the sleepless nights and, all the drafts and, seeing all the wins and seeing the excitement from the fans and artists. It's just been really exciting to be a part of from the very, very beginning. I think I saw Pete in our chat earlier. He's one of the founders of the record label as well. So I'm really glad he could swing by and join us today as well. I think his artist card was featured in the Genesis pack as Pete's Elite.
One of my favorite stories about like Amanda joining the label was her and another friend of mine were submitting artwork for it, and we took a look at her first like proof sheet, and we're like, yeah, we're not really into it, thanks, appreciate the attempts, or the submission.
I got rejected.
Yeah. And then we were like, hey, that's cool. We're just not into it. It's like when we get new music coming in, it's like it's got nothing to do with with anything. It's just just particular taste. And then a couple weeks later, she just comes back with like the next step up with just how about this? Take that. So it was completely next level stuff. We were like, yes, please. We'll absolutely take these. And then that just started. It was just cool to her not taking no for an answer and just coming back with a much more sophisticated design template right off the bat. So it was great to get to get that sort of a concept of how she approaches things in the first place. She's her tenacity is next level. So we're glad to have her on.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, DJ Augie. I just got that.
From the the small interactions I've had with you, Amanda, you've been like so organized, so on top of everything, like so appreciated just from my perspective. So
thank you.
I imagine everyone else who's worked with you, I only have amazing things to say, and I've only known you for a few days.
Thanks so much. Awesome. Yeah, it's you got to be really organized on top of things, especially with something as fast moving as Record Shop or just that side of digital collectibles in general. Time is of the essence here. And with my background working at Apple, we're always go, change. And we have to stay on top of it and be cheerleaders for it right off the bat. So I think I'll put a lot of those best practices into what I've done for both record labels and also Record Shop. Just making sure like we win with you guys and get everything, up and running and that we're, available all the time because I think with a growing addition of collectors and artists, like it's something that's going to expand, and everyone's got to be on board with making sure it's something that we're going to learn and grow from together on a consistent basis.
Fabulous. Yeah, thank you so much. Over to you, Gary. What, like, yeah, tell us your story, how you came to be.
That's a long story. I started DJing like in Southern California, like in like '95. And then I took a fairly long hiatus. So when my son was born, and then just the past few years, I've just gotten back into it. Contacted my just pulled out the Rolodex, if you will. Just started calling people, my old connections, and see what I could get going. And I got hooked up with Jeff Ryan from Dream State and his connections with EDC, and then that's been everything's just been sort of snowballing since then. It's been getting bigger and bigger, and the concept of starting a label was just one of if you're not hearing what you want to hear, you gotta it's a more of a do-it-yourself kind of thing where you want to just instead of waiting for someone else to make it, just start going to find the stuff that you don't think is getting released and try and showcase newer talent or lesser known talent to that degree. Because our first release was a culmination of all that. It was this artist Baby Doc, who is the term legend gets gets bandied about a lot, but he's actually one of the earliest pioneers of some of the genres. And then just got a couple of my favorite artists from the '90s, and then some newer artists that were just brand new. So it was just a real coming together of the almost 3 generations of artists. Just sort of putting the sound together of what we were trying to do for the label. Just sort of taking what I grew up with, and putting it to what's current on the scene. And so far, it served us pretty well. Is that? I think I rambled there.
It's okay. We like rambling.
No, it's good. I love hearing all the
question
background.
I didn't answer. Ask it again.
No, it's fun when we get the rambles because it's just stuff that I often don't even think about asking, and hearing just this background, it's just great to hear. And I have a feeling that many people in the chat, Obi in particular, can definitely relate with if you don't see it,
Yeah.
make it happen yourself. So I think that really speaks to a lot of the record shop community.
And my story with Obi is really weird. Like he used to be he'd go to parties that I would DJ in Los Angeles in the sort of late '90s and early 2000s, and I had no idea. He was just an attendee. And then I played EDC Mexico, and I just got introduced to him down there. And we started talking. Just him telling me that he knew who I was, and was at some of my older parties. And then flash forward a few months later, and he was living in China of all the guys he gets around. And I was playing EDC China, so I got him on the guest list, and so we hung out and just he showed me around China a little bit, which is a really surreal sort of experience to begin with. And then he phones me up a little while later and goes, "So I'm doing this thing," and he brought me on a phone call to basically to be as negative as I possibly could about the platform, and tell me what why does this suck and why will this not work? Which is what you want to do whenever you come up with a new idea. It's difficult for people to most people want to find people that tell them why their idea is great, not why their idea is terrible. And that shows proper forethought. And I couldn't find it all made sense to me. The concept of uniqueness being put back into uniqueness and scarcity being put back into the DJ marketplace again, where you have like a crate of music that somebody else doesn't have, You can go to Beatport and buy 1,000, copies of of whatever track, and just and everybody else can buy 1,000 copies of that. But once this drop's done, if you want one of these tracks, you got to come here, and that creates a magical sort of experience. In the '90s, like when you listen to somebody play an actual vinyl record, there's no Shazam. You can't listen to the dang thing. Like I'm almost certain that my favorite song I've only heard once and will never hear again. Kind of don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called, and I can never find it. Just things are just ethereal and just ethereal rather. Just they're just lost in moments. It's that's what was so cool about it, and we're trying to bring that back.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like I know for myself as a DJ, like that's something that I try and pride myself on. I'm sure, you and
Right.
most other DJs are the same. Is like you want to create that magical moment that just can't be replicated, right? And I think
Correct.
having unique music and interesting music is definitely a big part of that. And that's where I see Record Shop going to, is like being this really cool, exclusive place to get like special moments that really only happen once or in a limited occasion. Super
Yeah,
exciting.
absolutely.
Love it. I see Obi's in the chat saying,
Yeah.
yeah, he totally asked you to be brutal.
It was interesting. Like the guy, one of the individuals he wanted me to talk to was actually in Santa Barbara, so it was weird that I used to live there and he lives there. So it's a very lot of synergy. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
And then
So-
Obi also played at our first HQ event in Orange County back in 2020, which was great. He happened
That's
to
awesome.
be in town, so we were like, "Hey, you're going to be opening for us," which was really fun. It's stuff like that,
He was fantastic.
Yeah, those things would make really good moments, and they're kind of in our memory bank as just the roots of where everything started. So
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love how far back it goes. So obviously you've been around like the whole world touring and playing. What have been some of your really memorable gigs, some of the really memorable cities that you've played at?
Gosh. Blanking right now. There's just many, it's ironic because I actually prefer, like I played some like the largest festival in the world. I mean, like EDC is like there was like 500,000 people over but like I'm much more of a small club. I prefer the sort of just 250, 300 people and just in a small sweat box, there for not the roller coaster and a Ferris wheel and and all the stuff. That's all super cool. I just like to a little more just intimate settings where you can you can see them just right, instead of being 30 feet up in the air on a big riser, on some huge platform. You can actually be down with the crowd. But some of my ironically my favorite places have been just down in Orange County with this group called Intricacy, which have been doing a lot of stuff with us in the past, and we're going to continue to do some more stuff with them as well. Just smaller, more intimate gatherings where they're just it's more about the interpersonal connection than a 75 DJ lineup.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember Intricacy was doing a lot with live streams, like kind of as the pandemic was still just ramping up. I really need to make it out to one of their shows. They booked a lot of great artists for those events.
He did a two. It was 2 weekends, right? He did 2 weekends for HQ, where he got I think 90% of the artists on HQ, and he got them all together and just did it was like almost 48 hours of HQ artists, which is hard to comprehend. It was really cool.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
awesome.
we've got to do one of those in real life.
Yeah, right. That's got to be next.
Post-pandemic goals.
Yeah, I know. I'll be looking out for my invite.
A question I know we didn't get today, but we often get it. What are some of your influences from an artistic standpoint? I mean, I know even design-wise, what do you look to when you're looking to be creative?
I'm really looking into industrial stuff, so I'm really into post-apocalyptic cyberpunk styles of art. There's a lot of fashion brands out there that get really inspired by. One's called Industrial, and I found out later Gary's a huge fan of them as well.
Yeah.
There was a San Diego-based brand called Damascus, which I think has split now to Neofortic. They're a really cool brand still, but a lot of my influences come from post-apocalyptic or cyberpunk fashion. And I'm really into fashion as much as I am to doing graphic design and music, because I feel like music is a lifestyle. So, and one of the edgiest things I love about HQ is we kind of like have that reflection. A lot of it is played out in the media I do. I did a really cool post-apocalyptic music video for Dismaster's track that came out in November, right after Dream State. And with the involvement I've had with GVX, which is Gary's techno duo alias with RJ Van Zen, who's part of our A&R team. That sound in particular is like something I'm really lured toward because it has that just really cool gritty sound that kind of matches the post-apocalyptic things that I'm really obsessed with. So I saw and this is funny because we're on Twitch, but I saw that Cyberpunk got updated, so I might be playing that again. So you'll see some really cool artwork from me that's going to be influenced by just a lot of that secondary world stuff. So, but I'm really hoping that more of the artwork that you guys see from us that comes out in the future is more influence that's very post-apocalyptic, neon, very cool stuff that's going to blend a lot with the music that we're going to be looking into signing.
Love it. I remember the Genesis drop and getting actual like the merch cards, and I didn't see it from a lot of other partners. It was mostly HQ. I found it so curious, but now like talking with you, I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense. And I know like we've been talking like where is this going to go in the future? Is this going to be, merch you can wear in the metaverse or with other avatars that you may have? So I think it's really awesome that your influences are already in that area. Someone joining us, but so yeah, so cool. It's all coming together.
Definitely. And I'm definitely working on more merch that's a step above what we have now as far as designs are concerned and placement and things like that. I really love the Unity virtual merch that came out. That was really cool. The t-shirts and like how they're on the models and stuff. I love that. And I think we can definitely step that up for round 2 or 3. So I've got my workload already piling up. Even though we had this amazing launch today, I'm always thinking ahead on how can we take it a bit further in the future.
Always on to the next.
Definitely.
Gary, I guess same question for you from like a influences perspective. Where do you tend to lean towards, or when you're looking for something new?
Right now, like I've been leaning heavily towards techno. It's ironic because like the sound that I'm into is like it's pulling from the sort of like the early '90s, like just rave sounds. Those my favorite like the like just sort of the Hoovers. I don't know if you know what I mean by that. The song "Dominator" by Human Resource. No, I'm trying to get any inkling of it. She knows what I'm talking about here. She's gonna look it up. There's a
Got Google.
yeah, but that's sort of like that's sort of stripped back sort of rave sound is really prominent. So like T78 and Odd Tone Records, he remixed our first track for HQN. He's a huge influence right now. David Forbes, which is sort of making a more techno trance sounds. Scott Project, of course, is just like has been a lifelong. The guy's he's untouchable. So Space 92. Gosh. The Yellowheads, I mean, there's just a ton of people. I know they're just making really fantastic stuff. Only Bombs.
Yeah.
Only Bombs is sort of the motto of Odd Tone and T78, which House Tube up there seems to be a fan.
That's awesome.
Good. If anyone else in the chat does have any questions, now is a great time to ask. I do see Astral Fusion is just saying that we're having some issues with Discord. So make sure you ask here. We won't see it if it's on Discord. Well, I normally won't see it if it's on Discord.
I was checking just in case.
I'm really bad. I have to like focus on just one thing. So how you've been with Record Shop since the very beginning. Obviously, well, Gary, obviously you were even earlier than that. Just advising Obi.
Yeah.
How has your experience been, both of you, as an artist on Record Shop so far?
It's such a it's such a constantly evolving platform, which is that's one of the neat things about it. It's getting better and better. Which is just we've had a little bit of Obi's here and there, just to be like, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is what what I think, as an artist, as a producer / DJ, what they want to hear, or what artists want, from a platform, and where it's cool to see him, and take that, take those ideas and actually integrate them into the platform. It's been a really, really amazing experience, to be honest with you. As much as that's a sort of a trite, it's amazing, but it's been really great. I couldn't ask for more, really.
Cool. And is that in reference to the platform that the users see, or like more of the back end, what you get to see when you're going through the?
Also, yes. I mean, that the marketplace, we actually just where you direct links to buy things directly. And also just the artwork and the actual packs themselves becoming more and more intricate and more involved. It's fantastic.
Nice, awesome. Amanda, how about you? How's your experience been? And you wear the hat of both the artist and like the person who keeps everybody organized.
I've tried to keep up on it. It was very difficult at first because the Discord was going off constantly. But I really liked seeing what all the other content creators were coming out with, and just seeing how unique all the different ideas and artists and stuff they were putting forward. Like, I loved seeing all the involvement Disco Fries has had, but being able to watch the excitement of all the collectors getting the music and the NFTs has been really, really neat to see. And I think for me as a content creator, just straight up asking, hey, what would you guys like to see in these packs? Or what are your thoughts? Helps us know if we're staying on track or if we need to step it up, or it helps me communicate with our artists and the rest of our team. Like, hey, this is what people will like to see for, this end of our label. And it's also helped us, just become better at what we do. We definitely like, making fans happy. And I've had to be on top of the artist a few times, like, hey, you should visit the Discord. It's different when they hear from you guys as opposed to me. I'm just the owner or the artist. I don't do the cool stuff like the DJing. So trying to stay on top of the group as much as I can, but give them ideas on how they can be involved just based on how I see the other artists being involved with Discord and what can they do that's a little bit different or out of the scope to help build their fan bases. So yeah, it's been a really great opportunity. And definitely for me as a content creator, I try to do stuff that's going to be really fun for people to apply later, or almost like a 2.0. So more on that later. I don't want to reveal too much, but being involved in the Discord has inspired a lot of really great ideas within our team, and we're hoping that we can execute it. I mean, it's one of the reasons that we've brought another artist on board that we're going to be introducing soon. But we're definitely all in on this. This is something that we want to grow and develop, and above anything else that we do for the label is our involvement with Record Shop in this digital space.
Love it. I think we're so lucky to have some artists like yourselves who are just willing to try so many different things, because it's such a new, like where we're at is so new. So like, why not give stuff a try? We've got this great community who is open to being a little bit of a test case and letting us try things with them. So we really appreciate all of the creativity that yourselves put into just interactions and all of that. I see a question from Phileas here.
That's
How
a good
much?
one.
Oh, that's a good
A
question.
lot,
Bring it
actually.
up.
That's a
How
really
much
good question.
resistance from
That
artists?
is a great question. Almost all of them say no, and then we have to really push it. We've done some good things where I've gotten a card from a pack and I've video recorded it and I've sent it to the artist. I'm like, this is what it's going to look like, and then we have them go in the Discord as a fly on the wall before they become an artist. And it's like, look in there and see how the other artists are engaging with fans. This is what Record Shop is all about. It takes a lot of Gary can tell you, it's a lot of effort for us to go in there and pitch Record Shop.
Yeah.
And we sign really quality demos, so we want to make sure that the artist is on board as much as we are, but we try to pull people that are going to be involved with the fans in Discord, and that they are going to get a good understanding that this is still a constantly evolving and changing platform. So someone that's going to be in constant communication with us, to be on board with whatever changes there are, whatever asks there are, and being open-minded to things being last minute. But there's always a bit of resistance, like, oh, that's not conventional. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. It's a lot of, hey,
Yeah.
Educate yourself on YouTube, or Lisa, we send them a ton of your videos with the Record Shop one-on-ones or the
Right.
blog entries. And we let them know this is what Record Shop is, this is how our involvement is, this is what we're doing, this is what you guys can kind of expect. I mean, this drop, we had our own Facebook Messenger group, just keeping people in touch, and artists were answering other artists' questions, and that was really cool to see. But I'll let Gary chat a little bit more on that. When we do get an artist signed a Record Shop, it's a huge win because we just know how rewarding of an experience that's going to be for them too.
I mean, they say no mostly out of just like, I mean, it really is a.
It's new and scary,
They don't. Well,
Yeah.
they don't know what it is. Like there's so much about like I said, there's a lot of weird stuff like Bored Apes and all that stuff. What's an NFT and blah blah blah. And then and and a non-fungible token is a real mouthful to begin with. It doesn't not those three words don't make any sense. And then when you put them together, they make even less sense. Once we've had the success that the artists have had that has been on the drops, if we can just put them just talk to this guy, and then they that the word of mouth and just the just artist to artist has been probably the biggest tool of bringing them on board, and then just my sort of thought process of bringing a scarcity back into it. You're not just one of 1,000 or one of millions. You're one of a few hundred. That is it's a weird concept because as an artist you want everyone to play your stuff, but when you're in the underground sound of stuff, you still want to maintain a level of sort of like street cred, if you will, where you're not selling out or anything like that. It's a tough thing to you want mass fame, but you still want to maintain this sort of a level of integrity to what you're doing, and you can kind of do both here. You can be successful and profitable and still be true to what you want to do.
Yeah, we've started off with a lot of recruitment, so artists that we've worked very closely with. One of them being Laura May, where we knew she'd be on board. Thanks, Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there were certain artists that we asked to be involved, and then we started branching out into a lot of the existing signings that we've had in the past. HQN kind of came in around the time that Record Shop was being formed, so it's something that we pitch to every artist while we work with them. And also all of our new signings, Record Shop is the first platform that we pitch, and we dedicate some time to make sure that they understand the platform and what the whole NFT space is all about, and again, get them in the Discord. So it's a bit of a process for us, but that's one of the reasons making one of these pack drops is such a big deal, is because we know how much time and energy and effort it takes to explain things, ask questions, get people on board. And a few of the other artists like Laura May and Impulse Wave and RJ Van Zen, they're repeat artists coming back on the platform because they love it and they believe it, and then they definitely see the rewards and benefits from it for themselves as an artist, and not just the monetary value.
Yeah.
So is the big hesitation just that are artists worried about missing out on the like kind of Spotify
Yes.
accessibility to the music? Is that the main thing?
The biggest thing is exposure. So they really love
Mhm.
showing off their chart results. They really love when big artists support. Like, oh my gosh, this person
Mhm.
supported my track. Because we do get, pretty big names in our promo pool, like Paul Van Dyke
Mhm.
recently, and Scott Project, and some other big ones.
Mhm.
And they love, getting the feedback on their tracks from some of the bigger names. They also love being included in some Spotify playlists. They like having the chart results. So there's three big factors there, and all of
Mhm.
them of which we've addressed to Obi. And again, we've told all the artists like, hey, Record Shop is still a new and changing platform. So it may not be something that's available now, but they could come out with something even cooler or better down the road. And you guys are some of the first on board. So we've, always mentioned that too. It's like, hey, Record Shop is offering something different than this because you know what to conventionally get from Spotify or from Beatport. But Record Shop is offering you something new and like give it a shot. And it's something that is going to be completely new and different within your network. And you get to build a whole new fan base. So we try to pitch in a way where it's like, you've already done the Beatport Spotify thing. Like, come try this with us.
Mhm.
And we do. We do like to circle back with artists a lot, especially when we have pack drops like today and be like, hey, this is like, what it was all about. We're going to be sharing this video with the interview and some of the successes and being like, hey, well, why don't you consider something to send to us in the future so we can get you on board this amazing new adventure. I see Alan in the chat here.
Yeah,
He's
and Robert too.
I remember, yeah,
definitely, he's being
we,
very transparent about his experience so far.
Mhm.
certainly. Uh, I brought to like some really sort of big things that that I feel like as as an artist making stuff like what do I want more of when I release a track, like who do I want it to get to, um, and we have a lot of conversations with LB regarding that those things specifically, those sort of big salient points as what's most important. It's less I mean, the monetary aspect of it can be less important and more than the actual like what Amanda was saying, the intangibles of this big producer played my track, or even if he didn't play it, said he would support it, and then it's and then you can take that screenshot and put it on the socials, and then that if so and so liked it, I must like it too, and then that just begets more deals. I think it's not even so much that if anybody's buying the dang thing, but it's whether or not people are aware of the thing, and that's and that's what's vital for new artists as well. And then always been very open to what we're our concerns and what we've been bringing to him, and he's integrating those things slowly into what we're trying to do. And I don't know what how much he wants to how much he wants me to spill to being someone to stay quiet.
True. I mean, even after watching Laura May's walkthrough videos, I see how much time and energy and effort goes into making a track. And I love everything she produces. And it's like, wow, there's so many layers and so many things. Like, there's so much passion that goes into these, and we want as many people to hear it as possible. So with Record Shop, it goes to a very small audience. I mean, some of the pack holders hold on to their collectibles, they don't open them, but the ones that do, they just love the content. So you're engaging or producing your work for people that are willing to buy and listen. And like I've said, when it ends up on the marketplace or whoever ends up getting their hands on it, it's such a small audience that I completely understand where they're coming from on, hey, making sure this thing I produced, which is either my best track or my most unique track, gets out into as many listening ears as possible. And I think that's where the streaming appeals to a lot of people when deciding to move forward with signing to us for Record Shop or a conventional way of doing releases. And we're still doing both. We're still releasing for Beatport and Spotify and also doing Record Shop. So we're trying to keep the catalogs exclusive and separate, but there's a reason that we are, because we still want to play into both parties that are willing to sign for one or try the other.
Alan's got a great point there as well. Like it's you're like I said, it seems egotistical, but it's just you're just trying to build your sort of profile, and if you don't if you're not exposing yourself, no one else is going to. You've got to do it yourself. And then, like you said, the labels. If you're not constantly beating your own drum, and the labels will accuse you of not supporting the track, and you try to come back later. Well, they didn't do their job last time. But there's another Robert's pointing out as well. It's like going from vinyl to MP3 really. Like it's just a transition that people will as soon as the platform grows.
Mhm.
But I think the success that people have gotten from Record Shop as far as music is profitable, which is almost the motto of Record Shop to begin with.
Yeah.
It's allowing them to we've had artists that have potentially been able to revamp their studio with one pack drop. They
Wow.
take video of this is my new my software, my new monitors, and so that's rather than
Wow.
rather than getting artist statements from some of the big labels. Well, you'll actually says you owe them $11,000 or $1,100 for the artwork and the promotion and everything. This is the inverse of that. Where we're trying to give them something to where they can actually grow as an artist. If it's not just the one track, then it allows them to become better at what they're doing.
I mean, I know there's got to be a happy medium though, like, because I mean, really, Spotify is like going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think anybody at Record Shop believes that we're going to be like 100% like a Spotify killer or anything. But like I just kind of going back to your point, Amanda, about so much work goes into each track. It's really tough to say like I'm going to give like all this work to one platform or the other. So it's just like, do I make 2 tracks? Like, okay, well, that's going to be another 2 or 3 months of like creative work and energy to kind of make one release on 2 platforms. But I know one thing that we've talked about a lot, and it's hearing this feedback directly from the artists. Is I think it's something we owe to ourselves to put more attention on. Is like there's got to be a way we can come up with a really cool kind of like white label offering. Again, going back to kind of the vinyl parallels, where you can still send your music to the DJs that you love, and they don't have to pay for it, because it's like the very basic, like, okay, you get the music, but you're not going to get all the really cool art, and like you don't have to deal with a Record Shop login if you don't want to, and things like that. Almost like an In-Flight, I guess, sort of like if you've used In-Flight, the promo service. I think that could be like one solution to the DJ playing problem. And then I don't know, I've always kind of imagined, at least for my own work, like having my like extended mix, the full track, like on Record Shop, and then making like a Spotify mix, which would basically be like a very short radio edit, almost like a preview. And like it gets me, maybe it's just me being like crazy, but like the idea of like artists literally moving to like Spotify being almost a preview platform for their work is like kind of exciting to me. Like I can kind of see a future where that would be the case.
Like a radio edit versions.
But
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Really
It's almost like before we had streaming services available at your fingertips, and you had the radio, and like you got to just preview a track, and if you loved it and you wanted to hear it again,
good luck.
You either waited or you went and bought the CD, right? So like I think we compare ourselves a lot to vinyl, and we compare ourselves a lot to CDs, and I don't think that's wrong. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially when you factor in that I get to support these artists that I love without it having to be through concert tickets, which is really hard right now, or just not accessible if you're not in a I like Catorade's comment here: quit renting on Spotify and start owning on Record Shop. But yeah, I just like, we often make that comparison, and I just makes a lot of sense to me.
A neat thing like that, as the platform grows, is like there used to be a lot of bootleg things. Like you go to a CD shop, and you could buy bootleg live sets of a band that you liked. Just from the quality was not great, but it was a set that you never heard anywhere else, and you bought one of like a limited copy, and then you owned that. You know, like some people came over and looked at your CD collection, so you know, this is what I got. You know, like, have you ever heard this? This is really cool. I got this from so and so. And that's kind of what we're looking for. Where I see the NFT space of this music is that I have a record collection, like my crate of vinyl.
All right, getting it live.
For example, I mean, this little 10-inch. This is a Baby Doc track. And it's green.
This is the Tidy Tracks.
Oh, cool.
Tidy Tracks. They're also on
yeah.
Record Shop.
Okay, it's Tidy Tracks is on Record Shop. Age of Love. This is the original Age of Love. I mean, the original copy. And I've got one. This is a physical ownership of this record. And the white labels. I used to I would write incorrect track labels. This is Dance to My Beat. That's not the name of the track. But people, would try to transpile me when you're playing at a party. They're trying to see what you're trying to play. And so I would write the wrong stuff on there, so they looked for the wrong record. They couldn't find it. So all these things are like, these don't exist. No one can find these things. And they're just super old record labels. I have white labels that are purely white, and I have no idea what they are, but I love the track. And this is the whole this is if we can bring back the sort of like the uniqueness of the the sort of ownership aspect of it again, where your collection is your collection. When I show up to a party with my record crate, that's my you brought me to this party because of this little box. Not because you're gonna hear like the same Silence remix over and over and over.
I really love that moment because you just got like so nerdily excited to show off all your albums, and it's true. But and I think that's like a huge thing with fandom, and like you're even saying, you don't even know what half of them are, and it's just something that you're not gonna ever get on Spotify because you have it all right at your fingertips.
Record Shop can be for the digital landscape what Discogs is for the physical landscape. If you know what Discogs is, it's a secondary market. It's a fantastic resource for your it's almost like a repository, like it's almost like the IMDb of music. And people will buy and sell their vinyl collection and CD collection on there. But it's it's all physicality, and Record Shop can be that sort of same thing. So if fans being able to mint things like if I could some of these, if I find the artist that made some of these tracks and can we mint this thing, because it doesn't exist. I mean, I scoured YouTube for some of these tracks because the ones I have are like there's pops and cracks in them. These tracks don't exist. These are extant copies of these things. Dub plates and stuff like that. They just got pressed the night before to play at a party that evening. These things are they're lost. But that's why they're so cool.
Love it. All that provenance and history.
Yeah, another big and unique thing about Record Shop that was very appealing to us is most of our music, ends up getting pirated at some point, ends up on all these websites.
Yeah.
And the artist and us, we don't make any money from that, but in Record Shop, it's a secure platform. These things are in your database and they're safe. And that's something that has been a problem for years and years and years with all record labels, all different types of digital formats, is that it ends up on the internet and then whoop, gets webbed out to everyone and everything you can imagine in all corners of the web. So via Record Shop, it's like you have something and it's serialized and it belongs to you, and that's very unique, and that protects both the label and the artist. And I think that's one of the really cool aspects of Record Shop as well, is just protecting the value of the work for both us and the artist as well.
And the owner of the file is that they have no incentive. They are disincentivized to share it.
Exactly, because it would devalue their asset.
Yeah, so it's a very cool. The whole thing makes a lot of sense.
Well, I wonder too, like you know, as this shift kind of starts happening more and more, and people really understand what it means to the artists and the platforms to like own these things. Like I can imagine a future where there's like a social pressure to have the NFT or the kind of like, you know, prove that you own it sort of thing when you're playing it. Um, and I think that's kind of an interesting possibility, right? Like disincentivized or otherwise, like piracy is not going anywhere,
No.
but there's definitely the
Mhm.
social pressure, I think, to own the things that you show off and that you care about. And
Yeah,
I think there's a future where that's a
and it's gonna
reality.
be a neat idea. Like if you could have like blue check marks,
Hmm.
if you have blue check mark, record shop, kind of like
Yeah.
if Scott Project came on board record shop, and and then we verified his account, the stuff that he's playing,
Yeah, the
it-
CDJ has like a record shop mark that shows or disappears depending on if it's
Yeah,
in
but
their
like
account.
just you can check a like a person's you can almost look back on the person, if you knew that you could look at a record shop and find out that that look at the guy's, his catalog. No, he doesn't own that. No, he's never owned that. Where to get that?
Hmm.
So like I mean, not that anyone's gonna be like grasping anybody out, but just the thought that that someone could generally will keep people on the straight and narrows, or just I, you get sideways glances. Where'd you get that?
Hmm.
That was really specifically on Record Shop, and did you're not a registered owner of it.
Yeah,
Nothing's going
exactly.
to happen to you, but it's kind of
It's just like,
you're
well, that's
kind
kind
of
of whack.
Mhm.
Why would you do that?
okay.
Yeah, so
Alan
Alan's
actually
got a good
dropped.
point too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've heard that from multiple bigger and up and coming artists too. Is like, hey, we know that they're checking our stats on all these major platforms like Spotify and Beatport. But also Kai Tracid brought that up to myself and Gary about number of followers you have on Instagram that are not purchased followers but legit followers. Those things are all taken into accountability. And I know Record Shop is going to help increase, fan bases, and a lot of our artists have seen traffic to their socials. But that's also very important too. Is hey, where do you stand on the charts on these huge platforms? Like we use song stats still to keep track of every release that goes, conventionally through Beatport on for HQ and HQN. But definitely a really good point there, Alan. And that's something we would just to Obi as well. Is like, hey, is there going to be some sort of tracks stat tracker? But also, I know it's a limited number of releases too. So there's all these different elements taking place on how we can incorporate or conventionalize that into this platform at some point. So that way
Yeah.
it's taken into accountability by promoters when we want to see our artists get booked and play live, because I know that's extremely important to them as well,
No, Alan,
is to
it's
play
like
the music to a live audience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Alan's just saying he's just going to stay true to the fact that he gave us the track, but it's like that sort of like that's in the back of people's heads. That's what I'm talking about. People they're not going to want to just water down the content. But that's also something that Obi and I and Amanda have been trying to talk about to try and figure out a way to bring on the A-list DJs and get them NFT promos. Get them serialized actual promos, like a white label promo.
Mhm.
So without necessarily all like the content plus cards. They just get the track, and whether it's stamped, like this is Paul Van Dyke's copy of this, and if he no longer wants to play that track anymore, he can put it on the marketplace, and someone wants to buy, Paul Van Dyke's stamped version of that track, and
That'd be cool.
that becomes that much more collectible.
Yeah.
For this restaurant. So,
Or this is the one he played at, Tomorrow World 2022
Right.
or whatever.
I
said that too,
Tomorrowland.
yeah.
So stuff like that is what we're really excited to have to try and start integrating into the platform. An actual promo list for A-listers that they can actually they can benefit. Like if like the as it is right now, when DJs when they receive promo, like I receive a ton of promo, and I try to open as fast as much as I can, but a lot of it's just like you just the time goes by and you don't get to it, it passes through. But if you knew that your promo list or your promo mailouts were actually had value, you could put that on a marketplace and then have a and actually a return of something that was given to you free and is now, your cachet is stamped on it. So now you suddenly have a whole new marketplace of selling your promo packs. It can just just get crazy, and it's a very cool concept that I hope that we can integrate.
It's been great not only being a label on the platform, but also people of influence on the fruition of things. So I know Obi's definitely listening to a lot of our suggestions, and we appreciate that because a lot of those suggestions are also coming from our artists. So he's a very involved CEO, and that's very rare in these spaces. So kudos to Obi for that.
We screenshot, artists, when we're trying to pitch Record Shop to them, say, let's, these are the things, the concerns. One recent artist was just like, you just, it's bullet pointed, like, these are the questions, and then these are, those are the questions we brought to him before. So it's not, we're not just making the stuff up. This is there.
This is why they dig in their heels, or this is what gets them on board. And Obi takes a look at that and takes it all into consideration. So
it's been very cool to have have his ear and I have him actually listen to what you're actually trying to tell him, which it's been really cool. Like you asked earlier, we're seeing the evolution based on suggestions we've provided, which is just an unreal experience. Really cool.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's awesome. It can be tough being early, right? You have to figure out some things, and it can be really uncertain. I can't imagine we're just trying to put together collectibles for the first pack when there hasn't even been any pack yet as a reference.
What's the collectible?
Yeah, we're building these things as they come along. I mean, it was cool because the set that you guys are about to watch from Gary, that's all made from Record Shop releases.
Oh, yeah. That's
so it's
cool.
we have enough content now to make a mix, and then maybe we can do a compilation down the road. That'll be a mix of existing HQ drops and future ones.
Exciting.
So we're coming up with all kinds of ideas, and we want to stay one of the first to do so on this platform because we definitely believe that Record Shop is going to just be the most innovative and on top for a very long time.
Means a lot. Thanks so much.
Yeah. And good segue. I would love to talk a little bit about the upcoming set.
Yes.
I've been really enjoying this conversation, but I also just want to be cognizant of everyone's time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we had. I didn't anticipate we'd go this long, but this was a great. That was a great segue. So you said we're about to hear all HQ Record Shop content in this upcoming set. I think HQ will be on and letting us know what track is playing as we're going. What do you want to let us in? And I think Amanda, you told me that you did the background art.
I did the logo, and one of Gary's friends did some of the graphics on it. But this is something that's going to be cool and unique. And I think Lisa, you mentioned that they might get airdropped to some collectors that are tuned in, maybe.
I would love to do that. I guess we could.
Yeah.
I don't think I know everybody who's here because we don't. We'll figure out something. Maybe we can do something with as a collector award. I'll have to talk to Leah.
Oops.
Sweet. All right. Anything else you want to let us know about this set that we're about to listen to?
Yeah. It's going to be a mix of existing and new HQ tracks from the drop today. So creating a lot of hype around that. And Gary, he had to reconstruct his whole office to get this done. So, we definitely put a lot of thought and effort into making sure this is going to go as smoothly as possible. But I think Gary did a great job with, it's not always easy to just, hey, take these tracks and make some sort of mix. But I think Gary pulled it off beautifully. I listened to it before today. So I think everyone's going to really, really enjoy the set. And we have a lot of the artists in the thread as well.
Amazing. All right. Well, without further ado, I'll put on the video and then you are all welcome to take your videos off. I'll just come on right at the end to say a quick goodbye. And I am doing another Record Shop 101. It'll be just after that set, basically. There'll be a 15-minute break, but it's been such a pleasure to talk with you both. I think it's just been such great conversations. I loved learning just how involved you've been in providing Obi some insights into the artist side and the artist perspective. So on behalf of all of Record Shopping, thank you very much for
Thank you.
everything you've done for us. Excellent.
Thanks so much for having us. That was a really great interview.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I had a lot of fun.
Good questions
Thanks,
from
y'all.
the users too.
See you on
Yeah.
phase 2.
Yep. All
Phase
right.
2. We're
Little
always
teaser.
working on it.
Exciting.
All right, everybody, enjoy.
Enjoy
Thanks so
the
much.
set.
beast will destroy you. Literally is a point now where I think we have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works. That is truly where we are. I would encourage all of you, as the future leaders of the world, to really internalize how important this is. If you feed the beast, that beast will destroy you. If you push back on it, we have a chance to control it and rein it in. And it is a point in time where people need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. If you feed the beast, that beast will destroy you.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Wow, that was quite the set. Woo! Such a good mix. Again, all of those. Well, thank you first of all to Amanda and to Ganesh for joining us, Gary. It has been such a pleasure talking with you and having that set for us to listen to. So great. So good to know too that every single one of those tracks is on Record Shop. I absolutely hear y'all that we want to get this set into our collections too. So I'll see what I can do. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to take a quick break for 10 minutes, and then we'll be right back here for Record Shop 101. Excellent for if it's your first time, if you're new to Record Shop, not sure what to do on Record Shop, come back here, tell your friends. This is the place to come to, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.